Coming up on this special interview for Mustang News, we talk to nonprofit organization Guardians of the Children and how they help fight the battle of child abuse. Stay tuned for more. Welcome to today's edition of Mustang Corner. I'm Morgan Hare. Today we'll be talking to members of the nonprofit organization Guardians of the Children to learn more about what they do to help fight the battle of child abuse. Thank y'all so much for coming and joining us today.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah, so first things first, we'd like for y'all to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you do as members of this organization.
My name's T-Rex. I'm the acting president. Basically, I just make sure that the chapter's running smoothly, make sure that they're aware of any events that are coming up and things along those lines.
I'm Hillbilly. I am the current acting vice president. I help do all the paperwork and assist him in any way that I can.
I'm Wolff. I'm the sergeant at arms. I help keep, I do security at all of our events and our adoptions and try to keep order at all of the adoptions and the events.
Thank you. Okay, that's awesome. So could one of y'all tell us a little bit about exactly what the Guardians of Children do, what they are, what they stand for, just the whole 9 yards?
Go for it.
Guardians of the Children is a nonprofit organization. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. What we are here for, we are here to help abused and neglected kids, sexually and physically abused. We're more like a support system for them. Anything that they need or anything like that, we try to be there for them. We go to court with these kids. We give them Christmas. A lot of these kids come from broken homes and might not be able to afford Christmas or school supplies, and that's what we help raise money for, is to give these kids what they might not be able to have.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How can someone be a member?
We are actually on Facebook. We have a page out as Guardians of the Children Fallstown. We post all of our meetings on there. All you would have to do is attend 3 meetings, pass a background check. Once the background check clears, you'll become a support member. To be a support member, you do not have to have a motorcycle. If you do have a motorcycle, great, then you'd start your probationary period to work to getting your back patch.
Awesome. Can you explain a little bit more of that process, the support levels to the back patch?
Yeah, absolutely. The only difference between a patch member and a support member is when it comes time for elections, you get a vote if you're a patch member. The patch members are required to meet a quota of at least 70% of all of our events, as to a supporter does not have to.
That's awesome. So are there any required dues or anything to become a member?
No, we're a nonprofit organization, so we do not have dues.
We do, I think it's $35 just to go towards your background check, because it is a federal background check that we go through just to make sure that you don't have any family or child abuse against you. And then after that, the only thing, if you want to be a full patched member and you've reached the quota and everything, then you have to pay for your patches. But other than that, it's just an initial $35 fee just to cover the background check.
Okay. And when someone becomes a supporter and then later on a back patch, what are kind of events that you would expect one to attend?
We do Dine to Donate. Since we are a nonprofit, that's how we raise our money, is fundraisers and Dine to Donates. The ones that are required, we only have 2 things that are mandatory, and that's adoptions and meetings. With an adoption, we basically take the abused child and bring them into our group. You'll have chapters from all over the U.S. show up at this. So, I mean, it could be anywhere from 60 to 80 backers at this thing. But basically, we bring the child into our group. Then they have that support system set up. With the Dine to Donates, we'll be set up selling T-shirts, giving out wristbands, stickers, free pictures on the bikes with kids and things along those lines.
That's great. Could you explain a little bit more about adoptions and what that is?
Yeah. One of y'all want to take that?
Yeah, when we go to the adoptions, we present them with a certificate and a bear. And that bear, we actually give that bear to each individual of each biker that's there. And we pass that bear around and we give it loves. Okay, and we also give them pillowcases with all of our road names written on it. But the bear, we pass that around, it's filled up with loves, then we present it to the child. And anytime that child needs any more loves or any more attention or anything, you know, we have that child call us back. And any one of us will be there at any given time to fill that bear back up with loves. And also that pillowcase is designated for that child. You know, when they sleep on it, you know, they might get ink on them, but that proves that we're there for them. Okay, if we have to, we'll actually write back over that pillowcase if we have to. Anything we need to do for the child, whether it's coming to their birthdays, whether it's going to baseball games, football games, whatever that child needs, we're going to be there for them. All they got to do is call their point of contact or one of us, you know, the president, vice president, or me, and we will be there for that child at any given time. Whether it's day or night, we will set up and be outside that home to make sure that child feels protected 24 hours a day. We make sure and go to the courts with them, that way they feel the presence and the strength. That way, you know, it's provided for them, you know, like I said, with that 24-hour security. That way they know that they're protected.
That's
Yeah,
so
whenever we do these adoptions, like T-Rex said, we have people all over the country sometimes show up to these. We'll have people from all over the state of Texas show up to ones for ours. And there might be 20, 30, if not more, bikes pulling up into a small town with a park, and these kids the look on their eyes whenever they see
hear
all
the
these
bikes,
bikes coming in, because I mean it sounds like thunder, you know. And whenever we do these and we present them with all this, at the end of it, as long as the kid's dressed in proper attire and the family's okay with it, then we let that child pick out their motorcycle. And they get to go with all the bikes there, pick out which one they want to be theirs, and then we get to take them on a ride. It might be just a short ride through the park or make a couple blocks, but let them get kind of the full biker experience.
That's awesome. How do y'all hear about these cases?
Basically, the family reaches out to us. Sometimes it is through our Facebook page. Sometimes it's through other social media sites. But that's our biggest issue, is having the family get in touch with us.
That's we do some stuff with Patsy's House and CASA. The bad thing about it is, and why we need to do more stuff like this, is there's not a lot of people that really know about us. And just because we see something on the news don't mean that we can try to hunt this family down and say, hey, we want to help. You know, we're not allowed to do that. So our biggest deal is doing stuff like this and reaching out to the smaller towns around us, to their law enforcement, go through Patsy's House, CASA, things like this, and letting these people know that we're there. That way, if a situation does arise and they're able to let these family know, here's another group that's here to support for you.
That's so great. What can each one of y'all share maybe your favorite memory that y'all have had, favorite moment?
I know I'm probably going to steal one of his, because I've been with the organization going on almost 3 years now, and I've been to a number of adoptions. I've been to court a number of times. Recently, we had a family reach out to us on Facebook, and it was I won't ever forget it, because it was just how quick it happened. We was reached out to on a weekday night. I think it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday night.
Around 7:45 p.m.
We're on the phone back and forth with this family trying to figure out a meet time. I think it was a Wednesday, because the kid was in church. And they said, well, we can't meet till after church. It was like 9 o'clock at night. So me, him, my wife, a couple of our other members, we get up and we go and meet this family. And the reason we met this family is because this child was having to testify the next day, and she wanted the bikers to be there for her.
She was in court the following morning at 8 o'clock.
And we met her. And we was there the next day, and it was, a lot of times it's the family wanting to help the kids, and so they reach out to us and we're there to support for them. But to have one where the kid specifically asked for us, and whenever we was there, I mean, we spent all day that following Thursday in court with her, and for her to her dad got on to her, and she said, he goes, well, we might not be, you might not get to do this. She's like, I don't care. I got a new family, and to have that happen and see how excited she was about us being there, it melted my heart. I mean, that's why we do what we do, is for moments like that.
Definitely.
My biggest or best memory, I guess you'd say, it's multiple. Anytime I hear that judge say you're sentenced to multiple life convictions, lets me know that we did our job.
That's great.
I can't name one specific, because every one of them tugs at my heart. Everyone I go to, I want to cry. I know I get a tear at every single one of them. I do, and I'm not afraid to admit it. It doesn't matter how old you are, you're going to cry. Man, tear drops every time you go. So every one of them is just fantastic.
And that's the hardest
seeing
thing.
Seeing that kid, it's the best thing in the world, seeing them happy and feeling strong.
Yeah, and I'm sure y'all have seen a lot of tough things with being involved with this. How do y'all deal with that and go about that?
Just basically look at it as the child's not having to deal with it anymore. Now she has a support system that if she needs to talk or if she wants to talk, that's what we're there for.
That's probably the toughest thing we have to do is whenever you're sitting in court with these kids and they go to testify, they're having to
relive it.
They're having to tell exactly what happened. So as you're sitting in court with them and you're the only one there, you can't break down. You can't break down and cry because this young child is telling you what this monster done to them. You can't break down. You got to be just got to keep on telling yourself, I got to be strong for them, and that's probably the toughest thing to do is whenever you see them up on the stand and they're telling their story and they're looking at you with teary eyes because they're having to relive it, but you just got to keep telling yourself to stay strong for them.
Yeah, and when you're being strong for them kids, like we keep saying, it tugs at your heartstrings. And a lot of times when we leave, like when me and my wife leave, we'll give each other a hug, and that brings our family closer together. Yeah. And it helps us, if you have kids, it helps you develop your kids, make them even stronger. Okay, because they learn this stuff and they see this stuff. So you're not only helping the kids that you're adopting, you're helping your family as well, teaching them things that can happen, and teaching them how to keep it from happening. Teach them to be strong as well.
That's great. Y'all are awesome. Now y'all mentioned the supporters and the patch members. We've talked about that a little bit. But is there anyone that can be outside of the organization completely and still help out?
Yeah, absolutely. We accept donations. And of course the Dine to Donates, our fundraisers are open to the public. So anybody that wants to come out, like I was talking about earlier when we have the snowball fights, that's open to the public. Anyone's more than welcome to come out and join that stuff.
The only thing that the background check is for is if we're doing something directly with one of our kids that were adopted, which includes any get together with them or going to court with them, they're just not allowed to be there for that.
Well, that's all the time we have left, guys. Thank you so much. We'd like to thank T-Rex, Hillbilly, and Wolff from the Guardians of Children for spending their time with us to discuss what they do to help battle child abuse. If you would like to find out more information about Guardians of the Children, please visit their website. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at MNG Media and like us on Facebook. For Mustang's Corner, I'm Morgan Hare.